All right. The biggest fear of today's world. Am I enjoying sex and intimacy? Am I a good lover? Am I getting the right stuff? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Holistic Intimacy Coaching. I'm Liana, your coach for today. I invite you to take a dive with me into the world of intimacy, sensuality, vulnerability, and personal magnetism. Now, this is a painfully popular topic these days. How do I get good lovin' with the one that I want? And how do I become the one that this person wants too? And also, how do we keep this beautiful thing going for us? So there's a lot of charge here and a lot of layers to unpack. Okay, so let's dive into it. One, the very first one, the need to have it. Now, there's an obvious pressure on us to have an active and over-the-top intimate life and make sure that everyone else knows it too. It's almost performative, if you like. Now, for the older generations, this pressure is more obvious. But for the younger ones, maybe not so much. The key with this, especially if you're young and feel like you've got a lot to prove somehow, is to find a way to change your imprint of what you must have, or of the fact that you must have it. Now, there are many ways to do that. Some people do it by learning how to approach a potential partner until they just get one. Others do it by having sort of a Jedi training. And this is the approach that I resonate with, and this is the stuff that I support my coachees with. Though I gotta say that this is not a good fit for everyone. Now, when I'm talking about an intimate Jedi training, basically, I'm talking about something that would be the very opposite of what most of us imagine. Essentially, an intimate Jedi training would be to accept the lack, the failure, the mistake, basically whatever is negative and unpleasant, to accept it. Now, with the topic that we're talking about, so the pressure to have intimacy and to show that we have it, the intimate Jedi training would be to accept being on our own or on your own. So to be without. Live with that nasty feeling, or what appears to be nasty for now, until you diminish its power over you. On the outside, if you succeed, this will be perceived as you having less dissatisfaction, less frustration, less desperation, less loneliness. And make no mistake, people can smell these on you. Okay, even if you don't say them, these are visible or perceivable. People can sense them. They can pick up these things on you. So once you actually accept this and you stay with these pesky feelings until they're no longer present somehow, you somehow dissolve them, you actually stand a better chance to attract a person. Okay, because relaxation and self-reassurance is attractive. It's not enough to make one commit to you, but it's a must-have for sure. To support you with the Jedi training, make sure to check out my Somatic Practices community. Okay, a lot of the stuff that I put there is around purging emotions, transforming emotions, especially the negative ones, alchemizing them, turning them into something better for you, so changing your imprint overall. The stuff that people pick up on you will be so much better. Okay, somatic practices do that. Essentially, we work with breath, we work with stretches, with shaking, tapping, touching our body, affirmation sounds, all the works in order to transform and to alchemize the inner feelings that we have. So you can join us. There are over 30 people there, and we've been doing the work for over 2 years already. Okay, it's linked under the video. You can check it out anytime. Moving on to number 2, which is a more complicated one. Whom do I have sex or intimacy with? Now, this is also obvious. Of course, we're not going to have sex with just anything, though, to be honest, there are some articles online that surely will challenge this perspective, but most of us will not have sex with just anyone or just anything. So, who is the one, or the more, up to you, that you would actually want to and feel to be intimate with? This one is more complicated or more tricky, as I said in the beginning, because there are just too many charges around taste, around what is attractive, around what is sexy. There's a lot of standardization that happens around what we should be attracted to, whom we should be intimate with, what we should look like also. So there's a lot of that going on as well in society. Now, what is the way out of this? There are a few ways, just like with the step before. I will focus on the one that I recommend. Now, one way here, you can certainly go for what the standard is in your culture or what you think it is. So if that's what you're resonating with at this time, it's absolutely okay to go with what you feel that is best for you. And I know that it might be different in different cultures, okay? Where I live, it might look a certain way, and different, like in the West, it might look differently, and the East, it might look differently, and Arab cultures, it might be different. So I'm not here to tell you what the standard is. I'm sure that you can perceive it in your own culture. So if you want to go for that standard, absolutely go for it. That is one way to do it in case you resonate with it or you feel that this is the best thing to do right now. Another way to go about this, which is one that I also support my coachees with, is to take some time and remember what actually works for you. Meaning, what made your intimate moments really beautiful, outstanding, or fulfilling to you, and obviously the person that you were intimate with, okay? So your beloved or your lover also. It's got to be both ways. Now, sometimes what makes intimacy beautiful, outstanding, fulfilling, it's not about what the person looks like or if the person fits a standard, you know, in terms of age, height, body size, where they live, what, you know, social strata they are in, how much money they make, what kind of education they had. So it's not always about the standard, but it's more about how you actually feel and how you flow with this person. So when you're looking back at what made your intimacy beautiful, you're essentially looking for, and primarily for, what made you feel great with them, what you felt that flowed between you. Obviously, I'm not saying that you go for somebody that is unattractive or unacceptable to you. Totally not. You could definitely not function with somebody like that. But I'm simply saying here that it's very, very important to identify the qualities that person had, or the traits that the two of you had that made the experience, your together experience, beautiful. Okay, that's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm referring to. And once you have that clarity as much as possible, you let those things guide you when you socialize, when you go out there, when you go about your life and meet people. You let those things guide you, and you, when you observe, you look for those things primarily. In essence, when you start to answer the question, who do I have intimacy with, in the sense of okay, what are the traits of this person? You get as clear of a picture of a feeling of what that might be. And if you find someone and it turns out that this person has all the qualities and you build beautiful experiences with them, but after some time, let's say, it turns out that you didn't function and you, for whatever reason, you parted ways. There's one thing also to do here. You go back to the drawing board. So you sit with yourself and you feel into it. Was my description or my list of qualities or of traits, was it not good for me? Or was it simply that this person just overall was not a match to me? Because you need to get one thing really, really clear here. People, all people, including you, are way more complex than just a description or a list of traits that you might have in your mind, or you might have identified it along the journey together. So you can't possibly have a clear and exhaustive definition of what someone is, or of what you are, who you are, and how you two function together. That is part of the actual relationship experience, okay? You build that as you live your lives on a day-to-day basis, okay? So you get back to that description and you realize, okay, this person has more qualities, and maybe some of those other things that I never had in mind, they were just not compatible, or we were not compatible one with the other. Okay? That's not an easy thing to do, but sometimes some people decide to go this route because they've had so many trials and errors that they decide, what if I pay attention to more of the intricate details, not necessarily the external stuff, but more of the internal things. Okay, so now let's move on to number 3. How long does it take to find someone for you, and what do you do until you meet this person? This is another very annoying thing for sure. It's like, are we there yet? Is this happening for me yet? So yeah, totally annoying. Sometimes the wait can definitely get the best of us. But with this one, it definitely is true that time is of the essence. And in this case, when it comes to meeting the best person for you to be intimate with, I say time can't be rushed. And you don't want to rush it either, trust me. Impatience, hurrying up things, rushing things or people, or even yourself, your life, it's like the path to making you the worst possible lover or beloved in the long run. If you have some sense of self-awareness, please don't become this impatient person, okay? You're not there yet because you're not there yet. Learn to accept the path and the journey for what it is. Don't allow yourself to become the impatient and always in a hurry person, because I don't want to have to translate what that person actually looks like in physical intimacy, okay, when they have sex. It's not pleasant, believe me. So if you want to make beautiful relationships, you accept that, first of all, you can't rush time. Now, I don't know how long that might take for each and every single one of us out there. I just don't have that information. For some, it can take years. I remember listening to this guy online saying that he had been single for 7 years. Now, he was interacting with women sexually during that time. He wasn't exactly a monk, but he wasn't in a relationship. Until one day, when he met a woman that felt right for him, he felt it, she felt it too. So this stuff can happen, and I'm not here to say that it will take 7 years for you. It might take more, it might take less. It's just that sometimes you just have to realize it takes as long as it takes. Now, for the younger ones of us, we might have a tougher time with the wait here. But really, waiting is important. It's what you do until the waiting is over. Okay, so what do you do until you meet this person? Well, first of all, you take care of yourself. Okay, that's very, very important. You purge your emotions. That was step number 1. You get clarity as much as you can, and that was step number 2. And then you make sure that you have a life that makes meaning or has meaning to you. This is very, very, very important. A life that has meaning to you. A life in which you are at peace with yourself, you're relaxed, you feel pleasure sometimes with it also, including physical, including sexual, but pleasure overall, lust for life. In a life in which you can also be of help to others also. This one's very important. And why I say this is because the person that will come along is not just going to have sex with you and that's it. Like, they're a human being, and this person might have challenges sometimes. They might have stuff to work on sometimes, and this might also be your case. Okay, every human being comes with, it's the full package, and it's not only good stuff. So your partner, whoever they may be, might also need your support in some way. And also, they might actually have to come in that full package with the ability to also support you in your times of trial and tribulation. So all relationships have this exchange. It's part of life, including intimate life. So make sure that your life has meaning to you, and it is the best thing to work on while you're still single. And make sure that you can also support others in their lives to some extent. And when this person comes, wow, great. Then enjoy, have fun, love each other, support one another, explore, be with one another, grow together. It's a very, very beautiful thing. Okay, that's the point where I say congratulations. All that work on yourself, all that purging of the emotions, all that waiting and getting clarity paid out or paid off. And what I also say is make sure that you have a lot of understanding for each other, because nobody, including you, nobody's perfect. So understanding will be one big ingredient here, aside from being compatible, aside from working out your own stuff, not just always relying on the other. Understanding is one of the key ingredients to make this relationship work. Okay? So let's recap here. What do you do when you feel that your intimate life is not exactly where you want it to be? Step number 1, accept what is and purge your emotions. And I can be of help with that one. I've got an entire community. You're not alone here. Step number 2, get clear in what it is that you truly feel happy with. That might take time, but get clarity. And step number 3, make your life meaningful while you wait. Make it worth living for you, and make it worth living for others around you also. So be of support to others as well. Okay? That's it. It's not easy, but these are the 3 steps that I've given you here. If you feel like it, listen to this whole video one more time and let the messages merge into your awareness or your perception on life and intimacy. And if you resonate, remember that I have a community where we work on, in very simple ways, to purge emotions and feel better with ourselves. And there are also some sexuality practices also. Not a lot, but there are a few, and they are very, very beautiful also. Now, most of the stuff there is audio. It's oriented around personal growth. So if this feels right for you, check it out, and I'll also see you there. Otherwise, I'll hear you in the next video. For now, this is your coach, Liana, signing out for the day. Ciao.